Let us pray. Oh God, you are with us. Help us in all we do and all we say to be a reflection of your love. Amen. For many years while I was preaching, I used to create stories telling the events of that first Christmas from the point of view of varied people who were there. Their wonderment and their awe, their fears and their hopes, their questions and their faith. Each one of them had an insight about God and God's relationship with us. Through their eyes, we could learn just a bit more about our Creator. This story that I'm about to share with you imagines how the events might be seen by God, the God of all peoples. This is God speaking to you. Oh yes, I have spoken through the millennia, through many voices. Human prophets, the heavenly messengers you call angels, through your loved ones, and sometimes even through lowly preachers. I am with them all, as I am with you. Emmanuel is your term for my presence, God with us. Actually, I have been with you since before the beginning, but I'm sad to say sometimes you forget that. About 2,000 years ago, I decided I would try to make you understand by becoming one of you. I hoped that you would believe if you could see and touch me in person. You probably know the story of how I came to be with you. But did you ever think what it would have been like as each person of that event realized what it meant to be in my presence? Mary. She was a young girl, and as young girls do, she had her dreams. She thought she had her life planned out, but had little idea of what was to come. Bless her heart, she believed the messenger I sent, and she agreed, even knowing that it would disrupt her life. She accepted the fact that people would wonder or even condemn her, thinking she was essentially an unwed mother. But she also realized that future generations would realize the honor bestowed upon her. That night, however, she was not thinking about gossip or honor. She was in labor, hard labor. And she was far from home and the women who would have helped her. Not only that, she was not even in a proper bed, only in a rough stable with the animals. She did call upon my name many times that night, but I think in the peace which finally came, she looked at the baby, and she knew I was with her through it all, and through whatever would lie ahead. The innkeeper, oh, he was a busy man that season. All the crowds of people coming in. He liked the business, but I remember he was too busy to remember his prayers. He thought he had to concentrate on every task at hand and never once realized that I could have helped him get through it all. Well, I came to him also that night, just waited for him to notice. Oh, the animals too. Well, they're part of my creation. They are good and faithful, hard workers. They could not figure out what was going on that night. They were used to people, but not people settling into sleep with them. When the baby was born, however, they recognized new birth, and they rejoiced. Somehow, they knew that all my world was right. The shepherds, I loved them. They were the outcasts, the invisible, the undesirable. They were people of no power, no control, but in their simplicity, their faith was profound. Life was simple for them. They knew the fields, they knew the seasons, they knew the stars at night. Of course, when my messenger came to them, they were terrified. After all, they did not know what power might be coming to harass them. But they went into the city, more out of curiosity than anything, to find the newborn child. And there, in that stable, they discovered that I was with them. And they took that great news with them back to the fields. The wise men, they were just the opposite of the shepherds. They were educated and rich, powerful in their own realms. They knew something important was happening far from their homes, among the Jewish people they had heard of. Perhaps it was more intellectual curiosity that drove them. But they discovered that I had come to be with them as well. Even those who claim they don't know me, well, I made them too. Then there was Herod. I'm afraid he did not want to know me. To him, I was a threat. He was totally absorbed in his own power, actually convincing himself that he was more important to his people in his kingdom than I was. He most definitely did not want a rival king. Too bad he never saw me for himself. I tried to reach him time after time. I was there with him. But he did not want to see. And Joseph, a quiet man of deep thoughts. He was a loving person, but always stopped to look at the implications of events. I knew he would be a good father. He had already proven he would be a caring husband. Poor Joseph. I'm afraid all the responsibilities and worries fell on his shoulders. First, he worried about taking Mary on that long trip, hoping against hope that her time to deliver would not come. Then he was there with her, trying as best he could in his man's way to help her through it. He didn't even know then that he would soon become a refugee, fleeing to Egypt, leaving home and job behind. He knew I was with him, though, and would help him provide for his family. Yes, they are all my children, the faithful and the fearful, the harried and harassed, the powerless and the mighty, believers and unbelievers. I loved them all, and I wanted the best for them. That's why I came to be with them. That's why I came to be with you, too. Amen.